Hello, illuminated souls. I'm Bri Andrioni.
And I'm Tina Demore. Welcome to Shamans After Dark. Today we'll be exploring the art of ceremony.
Ceremony is one of my favorite things, so I'm super excited that we're talking about this today.
Yeah.
So what is ceremony? According to the Wikipedia definition, ceremony is a unified, ritualistic event with a purpose, usually consisting of a number of artistic components performed on a special occasion. And from a cultural standpoint, ceremonies are an important means of expressing, reinforcing, and transmitting cultural values.
Yeah, those definitions are good, but it really doesn't tell us much about what they actually are.
Exactly.
Ceremonies vary by culture. And for us, ceremony is not taken from other cultures, but given to us by our helping spirits. And that we really want to highlight that because
absolutely,
we're really mindful of cultural appropriation. We actually haven't talked about that before on this podcast, but we're very, very mindful of that. So it's important to talk about this as practitioners and teachers, and we're very tuned into that. So when we ask our helping spirits for a ceremony, we're given specific items, visions, scenes, words that the helping spirits will need to carry out the energy to create the shifts in the world that are sort of manifest from a ceremony. And that's why it's so important to come into the sacredness with an open heart.
Yeah, it's definitely very something when our helping spirits are giving us ceremony. It's individualized, it's unique, it's designed either for the purpose or the individual. So it varies every time. I've never been given the same ceremony to do over and over again by my helping spirits. I usually journey with an intent about something that I'm doing, especially if I'm doing ceremony for myself, for some big transformation or personal healing, or if I'm doing it for a client or for a group. It's very specific to the intent and those individuals that are taking part in that ceremony. So why do we perform ceremony? Because we love it.
We do. I do too. I love it too.
But in our respective shamanic practices, we might perform a ceremony that is in the spirit world, while we're in journey to affect positive change for the lives of the people, including children or babies, animals, and the spirits of nature, tree, parcel, land for the client that we're working for. So it's, it could be something as simple as just, it's a ceremony that is literally being done in journey, in this energetic.
In non-ordinary reality.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's the type of ceremonies that we might do for healing, for people. Is that what you mean by these ceremonies?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's non-ordinary reality. And I think a lot of people think that ceremony is always ordinary reality, but it's not necessarily.
Exactly. And sometimes that can kind of almost be spontaneous, that our helping spirits go in to do this and kind of create this ceremony.
Yes.
And we're holding space for that, and also being able to transmit and provide that information to the client afterwards, that this ceremony was done for them. And it's so beautiful sometimes when I see them do it, and the words that they'll share, and the things that they say, or the songs they sing. It's just beautiful.
I often come back going, I wish I could capture this in a piece of artwork, but it wouldn't do it justice. It really wouldn't.
And words don't even do it justice half the time, trying to find the words to convey the beauty.
Yeah.
But we also perform ceremony here in ordinary reality, in the day-to-day, in our regular world, as a means of expressing, honoring, dreaming up change in a particular situation, releasing, just for a ceremony to celebrate an individual and their uniqueness. Like, you could do birthday ceremonies. You can still do ceremonies for special occasion. When my son transitioned from middle school to high school, we did a ceremony for his graduation to just celebrate that milestone for him, because I think we don't have enough of that, right? We don't have enough of celebrating and making sacred things that occur in our life on a day-to-day basis, but also these little milestones that we have in our life that, as we grow up, should be honored and marked, and just.
Yes.
And it was beautiful. And it was a simple ceremony because we had, family and friends over that had never done ceremony before, but they were all able to participate without it feeling weird, and just offer him wishes for the future is what that was really all about. It's just beautiful.
And it's interesting because in indigenous shamanic cultures, sometimes there's ceremony every single day, but we don't have that in our culture, which I feel is a sad thing.
Yeah. And anyone can perform ceremony with the right intention. Like this, I think sometimes everyone feels a little intimidated by ceremony or the idea of ceremony, or that you're going to do it wrong, and the ceremony police are going to sweep in and drag you off, and you're going to be, like someone's going to shame you, like you did it wrong. And ceremony, again, is unique and personal. And especially if you have the ability to journeying to your helping spirits and saying what elements, and you can say with the elements that I have right here. So you don't even have to go and procure special items if you say using what I have on hand.
Right. It'll take you a week or two to actually get those items. And you're
Sometimes.
just going to lose the power of the ceremony. It's all about intention.
Yeah. Or if it's a ceremony, you feel like I really need to do this right now because I need some healing, or I need some support, or I need to let this go, or something's happening. Helping spirits have got your back. They're there.
Yeah,
you can journey and just say, with whatever I have on hand, please show me a simple ceremony or an elaborate ceremony, depending what you like. Ceremony lifts us out of the ordinary day-to-day cycle. When we're creating ceremony, we're creating this sacred container. We're stepping out sort of our everyday ordinary reality, and we're creating this sacred space to find meaning and make connections and be able to have a deeper experience with this intention of whatever our goal of this ceremony is. And it can really awaken our mind and our spirit to what we're trying to do. And that's kind of the real beauty of it, is you're making a real embodied mindful moment to affect change, to bring, to just simply celebrate or have gratitude for something. Like gratitude ceremonies are huge.
Yes. And I love that, when you do ceremony, I don't know if everybody realizes this, but it's like if you're doing land ceremony, for example, you're inviting your helping spirits, you're inviting the land spirits, you're inviting the gentle folk, you're inviting yourself and all of your hopes and dreams for whatever you're looking for in that attention. And you're all joining together in your hearts, really, into that place. So it's sort of non-ordinary reality and ordinary reality coming together in a dovetailed type of way. It's the only way I can describe what I'm being shown in this moment. It really is a beautiful, beautiful, sacred time.
To add on to that great point, Tina, is that you are inviting all these spirits to be present and to bear witness and to be a part of. And that just continues to feed this relationship and this sense of reciprocity that is there, that we are, not separate. We are all connected.
Yes. Yes. And like I said before, we really tend to lack ceremony, and I feel like baby ceremonies, like I love to do baby blessings, have a ceremony with that. Ceremonies for growing, like your son's graduation or just going into adulthood, all of those things, women being able to celebrate crossing over to a threshold of being later in life, going into sort of the crone stage of their lives. All of that's sort of missing. And the ancients, and shamanic cultures perform ceremony as a way of honoring the day, turning the seasons, the harvests, the victories of tribes and clans, as well as special days of the year. And so that's really missing. I mean, they honored life-giving spirits of nature, and we are so dependent on in our lives. And it's also a way to release what no longer serves us. Ceremony just really is such an important thing to have. It might be a way to offer gratitude, like we said before. And we can just honor ourselves. That we can, in our culture, we really don't, there's not a lot of I give permission or I allow myself to pat myself on the back for this job done, whether it was big, little, whatever. A ceremony can be like, I did this, and I'm just congratulating myself and celebrating that for a moment.
Yeah, celebrating that you showed up and did something maybe even that was uncomfortable, or just showing up, and maybe even a celebration that you showed up, you tried and you maybe failed. Maybe it wasn't to succeed the way, but you showed up and you tried, right?
That's all you can do. Yeah, so all of this is, when you're going to ceremony, it's done with a compassionate heart. Ceremony, like I said, is all about intention, and we can do ceremony around anything we feel called to do. It doesn't have to be, well, it's got to be this and it's got to be that. It's like, no, I want to celebrate this. I want to honor this. I want to honor that I just met this person in my life and they're amazing. I want to honor that and give gratitude for that and hold space for what the future might hold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just anything. Be creative about it.
Well, and that, kind of brings us to this next part. I think sometimes people feel like ceremony's got to be really elaborate and it's got to be this big thing. And, simple ceremony can also be sometimes the most beautiful and moving ceremony. Maybe you don't have a lot of time in your day, or you want to do a kind of a spontaneous ceremony. Simple ceremony can be beautiful, everyday things. Sometimes we don't have a lot of time. Sometimes we don't have, maybe a whole bunch of the resources, but we want to take a moment to just honor something that's important. Maybe we just want to give gratitude, like you're at the beach and you just want to give gratitude for this beautiful landscape that you get to be a part of and these nature beings that are here. So you could literally, dissolving, paper, write this wish of gratitude or this intention of gratitude and give it to the water with an offering, maybe a little piece of rose quartz, or maybe it's just some flowers that were there or some herbs or something that you happen to have with you, and releasing it because it's the intention in your heart that matters when we're doing ceremony. It's the intention we come with, and what we're asking. It can be, a birthday candle, and making that wish is a very small, very simple ceremony that you're doing, because you are holding this intention. You're making a wish. The spirit of fire is right there in that candle.
See, every single day stuff we don't think about is a ceremony,
It's absolutely, especially if we're just really bringing mindful attention to what we're doing and honoring and tapping into, and just really listening to our intuitive self and our helping spirits, because they speak to us whether we're in journey or not. They're there, they're with us. And I feel like, when you take a minute to tap into yourself, you can be like, okay, I want to do a little ceremony. Maybe you're leaving an offering out to the birds, and this is just a ceremony of gratitude.
And all the nature spirits. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you just holding that intention. So don't be intimidated by ceremony. Explore, see what you kind of come up with, what works for you. And then, on the flip side, if you really get comfortable with that and you enjoy it, then you could start exploring more elaborate, complex ceremonies.
Yes. And that would include, like we talked about before, really journeying to your helping spirits. That might be more than one journey if it's going to be a complex, elaborate ceremony. And then if you're a more advanced practitioner, if you're listening, you might have a journey or two about this ceremony and then get some downloads that are really strong about other details that you didn't get in your journey. I mean, you can celebrate, like I said, baby blessings, a coming in of the spirit in this in the skin, blessing a relationship, a couple. That's another celebration or ceremony. Gratitude ceremonies for this complex embodied life we are living. Gratitude is it goes a long way. Honoring Mother Earth, it's a big one. All who call her home, all the sentient beings. Initiation ceremonies are pretty big. They don't happen in this culture, but they should, in my opinion. A ceremony of life transitions, becoming a man, becoming a woman, being welcome to the world of moon cycles and womanhood, and also cronehood. Letting go ceremonies or releasing ceremonies that are really, really healing. Transformation ceremonies, honoring particular helping spirits, deities, people, places, and ancestors. I mean, those are beautiful. And like we talked about before, healing ceremonies, which are pretty much done in non-ordinary reality for those who ask for assistance. And also personal ceremonies, deep personal inner work or celebration of a breakthrough on one's healing path. Those are all, more elaborate ceremonies that you might want to journey to your helping spirits a couple of times to get some good information.
And so, when we talk about ceremony, why is ceremony an art? And I think, we talk about, well, ceremony can be simple or it can be elaborate. There's no need to be intimidated around it. Just step into it. And also sometimes understand that the best laid plans can go awry. Like, your helping spirits might show you one thing, and then the day you plan to do it, it's raining. And you're like, I cannot now do exactly what you asked. So just do another quick journey. How do you modify it? How do you keep going? Because the tension's the same. The attention is there, and you're just continuing to hold that intention, which intention drives the boat in so much of this work.
Yes.
And so it's just really important to just say, okay, this is what we're doing, and I'm just going to go with the flow, and it's still going to be beautiful, and it's still going to be magical. And that is so amazing with ceremony, because it is so magical, and the power that it can have to just transform the ordinary into the extraordinary is amazing.
It's pretty darn miraculous. And I love, when you do plan a ceremony, it's sort of like, oh, I'm going to paint this picture. But the picture in your head doesn't always come out the same on paper, or whatever your medium is. It's sort of the same with ceremony. Like, you could have a whole group of, students around, doing a fire ceremony, and the fire is doing whatever it needs to do. And it might not be in the quote unquote plan that you had, and you might all get smoked, and that's cleansing, but it's also not always comfortable, and it creates a little bit of a chaos. And that's sort of what spirits, injection of their power is in a ceremony. It's not going to go exactly as it's shown.
Yeah. Well, and also, we're working with spirits that are their own sentient beings in their own way. They have their own idea of how things are going to go. So sometimes that's where we have to remember to get out of our own way and embrace it and learn to just be flexible. And, ceremony, it's all about intention. It's heart-led. So if we're coming at this with an open heart and a strong focus and a willingness to let go of our preconceived ideas and still say, okay, this is the heart of the ceremony still here.
The intention.
Exactly. You're good. So sometimes, I think that when I've talked with people in the past, or even just clients of like, maybe my helping spirits came back, with the ceremony they want this person to do on their own and as part of their healing. And people just get a little intimidated by it. There's a little bit of fear that they're not going to do it right, that it's going to be wrong. Again, it doesn't have to be long and complex ritual, especially if it's something you're not used to doing. It's just be present, be mindful, really hold that intention of what your goal, your intention of this ceremony is, and follow your intuitive self. Listen to it and just trust it. Trust that it is right, that it's happening as it's meant to be. So whether you're trying to do a more complex ceremony or a simple ceremony, allow it to reflect your personality, allow it to reflect you, and trust yourself. And sometimes we still have that voice of not enoughness or that self-critic saying that we're doing it wrong. But it's your art. Ceremony is an art. It is a reflection of you. And so allow yourself to be creative and be expressive and explore. Spirit is allowing for the human parts of ourselves that show up in this. It's not, again, we have preconceived idea of what we think it needs to be, but whatever comes up and happens is what's meant to be.
Right. It's a co-creation.
Exactly. It's a co-creation. And so you got to kind of let go of expectation, because sometimes even when we think we're coming to ceremony to release or heal a specific thing, what comes up and heals, it's subtle, or it could be really dramatic, or it could be, just allow, kind of come with a sense of curiosity and allowingness to let go of expectations and see what happens. That's where the magic really comes up in ceremony.
Right. It's the elements that you use in the ceremony, and as well as the helping spirits, they're going to see way more than you can. They'll know what needs to be moved and shifted.
Absolutely.
So you have to kind of just surrender to that. So, creating ceremony can be a daunting thing for a lot of people. And I think sometimes we're, in this culture, we're concerned about this negative reaction from others. You might wish to use the privacy of a home or yard because of neighbors and just kind of feeling self-conscious. But it's so important to just be in ceremony. So do what you need to do to feel safe and being able to really be focused and have this intention and open-heartedness. Because if you're so concerned with, people thinking you're weird in the backyard or whatever, you're not going to be engaged in a full way. And so to show up in a way that feels right is the best way to do it. And be in a vulnerable state, being open-hearted, strong intention in your mind. I mean, that's all really what matters, but create a space that feels safe for you in order to get into that state.
Yeah, create that sacred space. And if you're journeying to your helping spirits for ceremony and you say you have lots of neighbors and you don't really have an outdoor where you could do it, where you feel safe or private, then you could say the ceremony, please give me a ceremony that I can do in the safety of my home, or in a space that you like being. Or if you want to be outside and you're not worried about your neighbors, do it. I do it. My neighbors probably think I am.
And I do too.
Right there with the drums and the rattles.
And I don't
care. I don't either. And nobody said anything yet, but that might not be the case where you're at. So be where you're comfortable, because you do want to be fully present and engaged and having a sacred space.
I'll just share this. I remember when I first moved into my house and Bri was, getting into her complete dress for a ceremony on a house blessing, which was awesome. But I remember following you and you were in complete altered state. There were people coming across the road that kind of, gawking, and I just kind of chuckled, but I really didn't care. So
yeah, it was sacred ceremonial garb. So I was in full, you couldn't see my face. I had a mask on and all kinds of, stuff going. I don't have any memory of it, but Tina was where a couple of cars going by looking at us.
Gawking at you, and I'm like, oh yeah. But I don't care. I just kind of chuckled and moved on. But that might not be, you, who's ever listening might feel really self-conscious about that. So it just respect where you are and do what makes you feel safe accordingly.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with meeting yourself where you're at.
Right.
Really isn't. That's honoring just a part of your process and where you're at and where you feel like you can really show up and be in that sacred container that you're creating for yourself and for your ceremony.
Yes.
And honor that.
And the spirits.
Exactly. Yeah. So Tina, what does spirit have to say about the benefits of performing ceremony?
Oh, let's see what they had to share. So The art of ceremony is a beautiful place where open-hearted humans can meet with spirit in ordinary reality. It is a tender, holy meeting with huge potential to alter the flow of one's life in the right direction. It is a tender, holy meeting with huge potential to alter the flow of one's life with the right intention. One may write prayers, create objects in this world that symbolize what one wants to let go of, to honor or to give gratitude for, or to manifest a heart's desire. All this can be done in celebration of life's joys, to honor one's growth and life events, to soothe a tender, grieving heart, and to ask for assistance during great challenges. This is where the art and heart of ceremony lives. Ceremony need not be elaborate for spirit to hear you, as its pulse lives in vulnerability and receptiveness. However, creating elaborate ceremony can truly move one's life and affect positive change. Present circumstances may lead to lighting one simple candle, creating a prayer, and lighting on fire a prayer written on paper to release to the universe, and that is enough. During this time, more intimate, reciprocal relationship with spirit can result. Strong intention and focus is all that is needed, with added honor to self and the spirits in which one asks to commune with during ceremony. When gathered in groups, those who hold strong intention in their hearts can bring people together, move hearts and spirits, and bring about beautiful change.
That's beautiful. I love that.
What did the helping spirits have to share with you?
My helping spirit said, "The art of ceremony is the art of making something sacred. It creates a sacred container, allowing one to deeply feel and honor the milestones of one's life and events that have shaped you. It is a way to honor yourself and spirit and your connection to all that is. It allows one to honor the incredible gift of life in a body, a way to honor your fears, hopes, dreams, release your trauma, and make space for healing. Ceremony is a way to show gratitude and joy for a life lived, even when one has experienced pain along the way. Ceremony can bring communities together. Ceremony can be done alone with none but the elements and spirit to witness. Ceremony is good for the soul, and our words for you are do more ceremony. Celebrate the hard times and the good. Mark the milestones of your life with an open and grateful heart. Reciprocity in relationship begins and ends with you."
Ooh, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! They are strong about ceremony.
They are. We do a lot of ceremony. My helping spirits and I do a lot of ceremony.
Yes. So the website journey prompt on shamansafterdark.com is go to your helping spirits and ask, "Please show me a simple ceremony that I can perform to release what might be holding me back in my personal growth."
You can find us at shamansafterdark.com, so please drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we would.
You can also find Tina on 3 Crows Healing. It's a numeral 3. And you can find me at Tree Heart Healing. There's also links to our personal pages at Shamans After Dark.
Until next time, everyone, keep on shining your light.